All right, finally, almost 3 minutes in, and I'm ready. Yes, I've come prepared. All right, so we're finally back after surviving Halloween. Whatever that was a strange vibe in the air, strange activities going on in the air. I noticed it all over the place. That was really strange. And so I guess we took a little pause, and now we're back to streaming, doing our art, and I redid that creepy drawing from before, and I wanted to show you guys that before we jump into coloring new art and using some new methods, new little tricks in the old bag of tricks for coloring, and we'll be exploring more digital brushes as we go. But first, I did want to show you something, and something we started last stream, and something I came back to and redid. So let me just make sure you guys can see this. All right. So this was the original drawing, drawn in pen on watercolor paper and then colored in watercolor, as you can see. And we did that like pre-Halloween um, creepy occult art, just to see if I can do it and check it out. The effect it had on people, and people really responded to it and saying like they were creeped out by looking at it. This is the scanned in version, and minimally processed, I want to say. Just like some contrast, some saturation on the colors. As you can see, it's pretty obvious that this is ink, right? And you can see the watercolors, which were, by the way, watercolor pens. This was like a first experimentation with that. Turned out pretty good, but I did do some magic with the help of my husband on the edited version of it for the creepy stream that was going on during the Halloween times. And I just wanted to show you guys what it turned out to be, the end result, because I never really got to accomplish like the end result of it. So you can check it out. This is what it looks like it in its raw form mostly, and this is what happened. So as you can see, cut out the border. This is was this much cropping done, and then we just put this like heavy, stark, contrasting, dirty, muddy, rusty yellow sepia on it. Did a little bit of shadowing here on the left side, um, and kind of just like rustified it. It almost looks like we dipped it in dirty water and like waited a few years and it dried out to be that way. I really like the way it turned out, although I was attached to color in the original. And, it's like, it's called demoitis when you get used to something you've been working on and staring at, or if you're obviously in doing sound and DAWs, you'll know like that first version, you've been working on it for so long, you got so accustomed to it. Then when you make some serious changes to it and alter it quite a bit, then you're too attached to your firstborn, so to speak, and you can't really differentiate. Like you can't make an opinion on it. So a good rule is to take a break, step down, go for a walk, put some distance between you and the original and then come back and listen to the new version. So although I was kind of attached to the colors, I thought they were really neat and a lot could have been done. Once we flattened out the colors and kind of like just drowned them in piss, um, so to speak, and that's, I say it as a compliment. Um, and everything's just this looks like this rusty water has been poured all over it. Makes me think of Stalker by Tarkovsky. There's that scene somewhere in the middle of the movie. I think it's first minutes of the second part of the movie where it's that famous shot, like a long, drawn out, seamless shot, and then he goes through. It's like a medical floor, and there's all these dirty syringes all over the place. And I think it actually had tile floor. I don't remember if it was black and white checkered floor, but it could have been. Uh, and everything is colored in this like rusty, um, gory old blood type of palette. Makes quite an impression. And if you watch the movie, it will be a really memorable scene. But, anyways, so that's that. I figured I'll remind you guys because that was an interesting experiment. And we can jump right into coloring. Um, but just give me 1 second. I gotta go check something downstairs and I'll be right with you. So let me just leave you with the creepy guy and I'll come back. All right. I'm back and I was checking out some technical difficulties that we might be experiencing. The weather's been strange lately and it's heavily overcast, so I don't know if that has anything to do with the internet. Anyway, so we got Timmy Shane saying creepy. Yes, that was definitely the point of this art is to be creepy. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment and let's get into it. Um, and we'll move on with the coloring. Done. All right, so I can close this guy. So you can see this was just like to summarize and recap what I was talking about, how filter work, it's like in the movie industry, there's this sentiment in post we trust. So even if you have great original and um, you've done some formatting job on it before, and it's just not really expressing what it ought to express, although it is great, just through filtering alone. And by filters, I don't mean like go on some looks and pick a default that already has all the presets in it. By filters, I mean make your own filter that has that relates to the context and to the situation. So it's not like a one filter fits all type of thing. You do want to pers- personalize it, right? So this was the end result, and turned out pretty cool, I think, and it definitely is telling the story now more. All right. On this note, I guess I will just continue with coloring. Let me just close this. I don't need to save it. And I think we actually might have done this little dude. Let me check this out. Night City Sky. Unless I started it, but never finished it. Um, unless I never started it. Anyways, um, let's do this little critter here. And maybe I guess I just did the lines now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, and I use that. See, something is going on with the internet, which is slightly concerning. Um, all right, let me see. Well, I'll start with the crop first. I think we can cut out some of the stuff and not really lose anything. And cropping can be useful in times when it looks like the composition is off balance, perhaps, and you can zoom in more on the center, emphasize the center more, sometimes just by cropping it. The other tool to do it also, well, not a tool, but one of the tricks is to use gradients and to use, I'm thinking in particular, vignette, which does the same thing, but it's more of an illusion. It just creates a shadow around all your corners, and then it's kind of like a spotlight. It shines the spotlight in the center and brings out the focus more. So let's get to it then, and let me grab my paint bucket. So what I'm gonna do here, actually, let me just duplicate this layer because I know I might want to do some experimentation here. Um, and I think I'll start with my average, um, with what I usually do, which is since this is a scanned ink drawing, and I'm going to be coloring it digitally on a computer. And in the past, I did it more by means of just using flood fill or paint bucket and painting it like so. And now it seems like it's almost more interesting in a way. Let me actually try it different way, maybe like this. Yes, I like that. magical bubblegummy pink. All right, and now what I'm gonna do is bring this out. Um, and you know what? I'm actually thinking, I think I'm gonna change that yellow into something purpler and just see what that looks like. Yeah, I like that. Um, Makes it more surreal. Now I got this little pup here, or whatever this might be, and I'm gonna try to see if I can bring out the surreal in the pup. Um, all right, so this is already looking warm, nice and fuzzy, which I like. Um, and I'm gonna try to see if I can make a gradient here of like this road. Well, let me see. What's more interesting, dark to light or light to dark? I'm gonna have to experiment here a little bit. See, and also, I always say that too. It's like one of the little tricks I use when you are attempting to make a gradient. Um, It can be done in several ways. One of them is to just pick a color and then obviously oscillate, or not even oscillate, but just dial down on opacity, just make the color more and more opaque. The other way to do it, and I combine the two, is to pick a color. For example, well, we got this like slightly purplish, like gray, and then use that color as a first choice. And then from that color, kind of move away baby steps or maybe back and forth. So dance around the color is what I usually do also. And it seems to have a pretty cool effect, I think. And you can even go into more of a variation on the color and I guess go like slightly nuts if you want to. And then just back to white almost or off white. All right. Okay, wait a second. I think I am experiencing some technical difficulties here with my connection or something. Let me just reboot all of this, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes because this is a little bit distracting and seems to be messing up the stream. All right, I'll be right there.